Hello everybody! Welcome back to my channel where stories and other random things take center stage and imagination is prized above all. Happy Saturday and welcome to today's video. I hope you guys are having a great morning and will continue to have a wonderful rest of your day. So today I'm reviewing the second arc in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Battle Tendency. I just want to warn you right now, I filmed this the first time and it's probably going to happen the second time, but basically most of my review is probably going to be me fangirling because of the two arcs I've watched, and even though I'm in the middle of Stardust Crusaders as I film this, Battle Tendency is by far my favorite arc right now, and Joseph is by far my favorite JoJo. So I just wanted to give y'all some like a bit of a thing. I do have some critiques which I have a specific critique which I will mention, but for now, just know this. So, Battle Tendency takes place 50 years after the events of Phantom Blood, although the way they connect is awesome. So please know that. It is amazing the way they connect. It's great. But basically, we follow Joseph Joestar, who has moved to New York with his grandmother Irina, from my understanding. And basically, we follow him. And the way it starts is that Robert E.O. Speedwagon is now an oil tycoon, and he also has a foundation to protect the humans from like supernatural beings and stuff, and he now has he has that there, right? And he can basically has this, and he asks for help from Straitzo, who we met also in the last arc, in order to help him destroy the Pillar Man, who is found in Mexico. And however, Straitzo betrays him and attempts to kill him because he had serious admiration for Dio, and he basically becomes a vampire and is on the way to kill JoJo, but JoJo wins. And because JoJo wins, Straitzo basically tells him all about the Pillar Man and everything, and he goes to save Speedwagon, who might actually he goes to get Speedwagon, who may actually be dead. He finds out it's alive, but it's a thing. So he ends up going to Mexico to get Speedwagon, only to defeat Santana, which is one of the Pillar Men, and finds out that there are more Pillar Men, and in order to defeat them, he has to get help from Caesar Zeppeli, who is the grandson of Will A. Zeppeli from Phantom Blood. Honestly, I love the fact that grandsons meet in this arc. And he ends up also getting training for his Hamon from Caesar's training coach, Lisa, who has an amazing backstory that I will not spoil. And then they find out there that the Pillar Men are after a perfect redstone called the Super Asia, in order to basically take over the world in a way. They seem to want domination, but also just, yeah, it's very hard to explain it. It's been a little bit since I watched it, so my apologies. Oh, getting sick. Getting sick sucks, guys. Sucks, okay? I hate it. So, my thoughts on Battle Tendency. I already said it is literally my favorite arc as of now, even though I am in the middle of watching Stardust Crusaders. It is my favorite arc. It's very interesting. I actually really enjoy the characters a little bit more in this one. I think that this arc had... The fact that this arc had more episodes, it allowed it to develop more. Phantom Blood only had 9 episodes, and it got to the point really fast. and that's fine. I don't mind this. This one also got to the point really fast, but it also developed more in its story structure. I think that Battle Tendency actually had a better development than Phantom Blood because it had more episodes and it had more time to develop the characters outside the main story, which is something I liked. Phantom Blood didn't really do much about that. We got like a small montage of Jonathan growing up, and voiceovers of how Dio basically bested him in everything and things like that. But with Joseph, we got like 2 episodes at least where he was a little bit outside the story and kind of learning a little bit more. And throughout the arc, we got to learn about him a little bit more. And throughout the arc, we get like, some other learnings about him and the way he is. And his personality is a lot more charming, honestly, than Jonathan. Not that Jonathan is not charming. I actually like Jonathan Joestar as character. I liked the gentlemanly vibe and stuff. It was really cool. But I liked Joseph a little bit more because he has like this arrogance to him. But it turns out he is super vulnerable as well, and he has a lot of respect for Irina, his grandmother, and it is super adorable to see his relationship with Irina. I think Irina didn't get enough development in any of the arcs, but I think it was really adorable to see the way she was 50 years after the original events of JoJo. I think that the relationship between her and JoJo is just amazing. And I like the fact that we get hinted at the fact that she's basically still haunted by the events of 50 years ago. I like that they acknowledge the fact that these things, that traumatic events don't just go away after a couple of years. I think it's important to acknowledge that in any type of writing. And I like that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure acknowledged that even though a lot of time has passed, Irina is still very much haunted by the events and is afraid of what can happen to her grandson because of what happened to her husband. So I appreciate the acknowledgement, truth be told, I do. It's really great that she basically acknowledges it, or that they basically acknowledge it in the series. So that I can appreciate. I loved. I think that was a great storytelling thing to use. Also, I really liked Lisa. Honestly, Lisa is one of the most badass ladies in anime, and I think she is right there on top with Sarah's Victoria and Integra Helsing from Helsing. So I think she's right there. Like, I loved her. I think she is literally the best female character I have seen in JoJo's so far. I love her. I can't say that Irina was a great female character in the first arc, but Lisa definitely was great in this arc. And I like the way that she connects to Irina, because Lisa turns out to be the baby Irina rescued 50 years earlier. I love it. It is something amazing to consider. It's amazing that these events connected this way. Now, her story after that, I will not spoil because it's amazing, and I just refuse to spoil that story right now, the storyline for you guys. But also, I have found that I love it. I love that. I love the one of my favorite scenes actually in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure definitely actually has to do with Irina and the way that when they met Smokey Brown, who was basically like a pickpocket in the show, but eventually kind of changed and moved in with Irina. Basically, there was a point where someone was bullying him and JoJo was going to use his hormone, and he respects his grandmother, so she's like, you want me to stop doing this or whatever? And she's like, no, this misbegotten fool disrespected our friends. Just be mindful of the other guests, It was really an interesting scene to see. But also, another one I loved a lot was after certain events and after when he was with Lisa or whatever, and because these things were happening, Speedwagon was going to call, Irina to let her know, hey, everyone's fine. You get JoJo just going, upset Grandma Irina about this and I will beat you senseless. And I was just like, yeah, you have cemented my love for you as a character. I do enjoy it. One of my favorite things also about this arc in general was Caesar Sepeli. He was such a really good character. He also had a really, really nice backstory, a really interesting backstory compared to, like JoJo had a great backstory too, but I'm saying like he had a really great backstory that led back to family. Also, I just need to complain a little bit, like, why do both grandfather and grandson in the Zeppeli family line have to have the same ending? Why? There's no reason. You could have done so much. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do this to Caesar Sepeli? I mean, he got something, but still, why'd you do that? On the bright side though, at least Caesar Sepeli did spend more time with JoJo. Unlike in Phantom Blood, I think Will only spent like 4 episodes, while Caesar kind of spent most of the arc with JoJo, and their friendship was developed and it was really great. Another thing I do want to say that I really liked from this arc rather than the last arc is definitely the villains. I mean, I like Dio as a villain and his cartoon world domination thing. And these villains seem to kind of go through the same in trying to like make people like, I guess, higher version of themselves or whatever. But I think these villains were a little bit more complex in the fact that 2 of them, specifically Wamu and AC/DC, had kind of like a moral code. I like villains that seem kind of cartoonish and have a bit of a moral code and who respect their opponents, unlike Cars. So I like AC/DC and Wamu as villains. I think they made really good villains, and I love villains with like their own moral code. I think that's like really cool, and I think it should be introduced more. The one thing I'll say is that Lisa did not have as much presence at the end of the arc. Like, she was ready to fight, but then at the end, like, Cars actually outsmarted her, and JoJo did have to save her. But then again, I originally wanted to critique this, but I decided not to because I do think that it was developed well enough that it's believable, and that, unlike Arena, Lisa did a little bit more to do that. And she didn't really serve as someone to make things, better for the male character the same way I think Suzy Q did, where Suzy Q was basically taken over and they had to just save her. Now, I will say that Suzy Q is adorable. I think she's an interesting assistant. I love her. But I did not like the fact that it just ended with her and JoJo getting married and we don't even see the romance thing. This is a critique I had for Phantom Blood, and it is a critique I have for this as well. Suzy Q and JoJo's marriage and romance really didn't feel earned. That's like my main complaint. So those are my thoughts on Battle Tendency. Let me know what you think of this arc of JoJo. Am I being harsh? I love this series to bits though, so I'm hoping I'm not being too harsh. But I do love this series and I will continue watching it. I'm in the middle of Stardust Crusaders and I'm super excited to continue reviewing it, so yay! Anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe if you're interested in my content. Next week, I actually have a writing update vlog for you guys, so hope you guys enjoy it. Anyway, I'm off and I'll see, and until like my next video, consume stories.